Welcome to the Guild Podcast, where coaching gets real. We challenge the myths, break the limits, and elevate the way we grow. With your hosts, Hannah, Ruth, Perry, and Sippy. This is the Guild.
So welcome to the Guild Podcast, guys. We were talking about a lot about how to have an intro. What's the intro? What are we going to say? How are we going to explain what we're doing here? And I think we all decided that we didn't want an intro, so we were doing a non-intro intro to the podcast. And I think it very much mirrors how we operate as coaches, where we just like to jump right in. We like to get to the heart of whatever's going on. We're not going to move away the fluff, move away whatever is blocking, and just jump right into the important stuff, the meat and potatoes. And that's what we want to do here. We want to discuss important topics, things that we feel the public would want to know about and is most likely thinking about, but maybe not saying. Everything that is coach related and everything that you need to know about coaching. So I think a lot of times people, the biggest or first question that they have is, well, what do I need a coach for? What is it that you do, right? Which is really, why do I need a coach? What are you offering me? What do I need help with in my life? So I'm curious to hear from you guys. Do you think everybody needs a coach?
I don't think everyone needs a coach. I think everyone deserves one.
Exactly. I love that.
That's a good way of putting it.
I'll
Yeah.
have to explain more of that. But my question, obviously, what a coach will always do is ask a question to the question, to a point where it's annoying, but you know what, it gets you places. But I just went like 20 steps forward. But my question to you is, I'm answering this in terms of like someone that doesn't know, or am I answering it as a coach who does know a lot behind the scenes?
I think you should answer as a coach that does know, because I think that gives the most value, right?
Right.
You think that everyone needs a coach, right? Like a lot of times people tout their services as a must. You must have this acne medication. You must have this lipstick. You must have this falafel. Do you think everyone must have a coach?
I love the way you put that, because you put it in comparison to how to answer this question, like in terms of marketing, like you must have it, right? The thing with coaching is it's not about what's out there and what you need and what it's so individual, and every single person needs a certain aspect of it that like you can't, it's hard to explain, and that's the trick with coaching. That's why we're here, building the Guild and having a podcast and all platforms of exposures to teach, also to educate people what this is all about. Because there's so many questions. Because to answer your question, does everybody need a coach? They could benefit from it 100%. Because, and we'll get to the explanation as to why, because a coach essentially elevates your life and makes it better. So who doesn't want their life to get better?
Not everybody needs a coach, but like you said, everybody should get a coach. But not just that. If you can do the work and you can do everything by yourself, but with a coach, you can just go faster. So why not?
What you're all saying, and I feel like the most important point of what you all are saying is that a coach will enhance your life, but also understand where you need enhancing, right? Like you were saying, to pinpoint. Like it doesn't have to be this broad thing of like, my life is in shambles, I need a coach to fix me and do everything for me, right? You can be very strategic and say, you know what, I need a coach specifically to deal with time management. I've seen coaches like that. I've seen coaches that only deal with, I don't know, you were telling me something crazy about a mold coach, right?
We're going to go here yet. 1 minute.
No, because that's really the next point, is like the different types of coaches that are out there. And I think that it's important to have the different types of coaches, because you don't necessarily need help with every aspect of your life. It's important to pinpoint.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, people don't know also what type of coaches we have out there. There is so many coaches, different type of coaches. Coaches that people don't even know.
Yes, I'd love to hear about the different kind of coaches, because I'm getting excited. Who can I hire next? Let me hear.
Right.
Let's play this game. When you say coach, what's the first coach that comes to mind when you think of a coach?
Football coach.
Really? That's like the last
I'm like
thing
a
that comes to
personal
my
trainer.
mind.
I don't know, that's not a coach, but I'm like personal trainer. But a coach is like that. You're more likely to work on yourself if you have someone holding you accountable and like on a time frame. Like this is where we're holding. So yeah.
So you think trainer?
Yeah.
What's the first coach that comes to your mind?
When I think of coach, I think of, I don't know why, but I think of a business coach. I don't know why, because that's so specific.
Because it's very popular also.
So what is the weirdest coach niche you have ever heard of?
She wants me to answer that question very
Yes.
badly.
No, I want all of you. I want to hear it.
I'll just say I don't know much about it, but I was in like a marketing course for coaches specifically, and there were so many, like hundreds from all over the world, and there was one that was a mold coach. And
Love
we
it.
watched her, we observed her actually coaching, and she had a lot of clients, and it was more like because she suffered obviously physical ailments or whatever, struggling
There's a big
because of
thing about
mold in
them.
her house. Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't know a thing either until you talked about it.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
There's a big emotional component, right? When you feel overwhelmed by something, like nobody typically deals with mold on a day-to-day basis, right? So you feel overwhelmed, you're like, what am I supposed to do, right? So when you know you have somebody to like walk you through something, it
Takes
takes
that
away
pressure off.
half the right. So it's a very crazy example, but you see so clearly from there. Wait a second, like in every aspect, if I'm having a problem and I have somebody, I have accountability, I have a cheerleader, I have somebody in my corner, it makes you breathe.
That's right.
So talking about different types of coaches out there kind of brings up this question that I think a lot of people have is what's the difference between a coach and a therapist, right? If you need a coach, you don't need a coach. But what about, do you need a
Number one
therapist?
question out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I think we all get it all the time.
Harry, take it away. Let's hear.
And it's a
let's
very
hear your
valid
answer.
question because if people don't know, they just, or like when I started saying that I'm a coach, oh, so you're going to therapize me? Oh, okay, so I have so many problems. I got it all the time. At this point, it's like I welcome it.
I have clients that say, oh, yeah, so my therapist, and they're talking about me. My therapist said, I'm like, I'm not going to correct you because you've already told this person, but I'm just saying, not a therapist.
But there's a huge, and I always like to think of this comparison, like you need a foot doctor, you need a heart doctor. Like you need different parts of your stuff to be taken care of. It's totally different. And the best part is they can have it simultaneously.
I do think the biggest difference is the fact that they're clinical. We're not.
Okay.
Many therapists they
It
have.
could be as straightforward as that.
That's one of the biggest.
I like that
think.
answer because I feel
Yeah.
like you don't necessarily hear that a lot. They're clinical. I do think there are therapists that are not as clinical. I do know therapists that are actually have a coaching background, and I think that makes them very valuable.
And vice versa.
And vice versa, yes.
Mhm.
I think that there's also an element of what you're trying to fix, right? Like what Perry was saying is like there's different things that need fixing.
Or
And
even
Are
more
you trying
so,
to fix or create?
right? Like, especially because we have pretty much the same,
it's a good
similar
question.
kind of
Are you
education.
trying to fix or create?
I feel like
It's a great way of putting it though, because you don't usually hear that. Like you hear a lot of forward facing or delving to the past, but are you looking to create or are you looking to fix?
Meaning yes, granted, you still have those things, those issues that you have to delve into and fix, right, for a therapist to take care of. But then at the same time, you can also, yes, I have this problem, I have this issue. And in coaching, we could talk about blocks and problems, but now what? What's next? How do I go forward from here? What's my next step? So you could be side by side, simultaneously, even more so. It's so super powerful to have both working at the same time. But coaching is a forward-thinking conversation. It's a creating conversation. Where do I go next?
So I think
Mic drop.
that's
Yeah.
where, just to put a shameless plug here, I think that's where the guild comes in, right? Because step one is figure out what you need and in what area specifically you need help in, right? Do you need a therapist or do you need a coach? I think that we would be the first ones to say if we felt somebody needed a therapist, right? Like we're not looking to, like this goes back to selling. We're not looking to sell anybody coaching. We're looking to understand if it would be beneficial for somebody's specific needs.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's so incredible about the guild is because most people, right, like going back to this mold coach, like you're dealing with mold, most people have a problem and they're so fixated on fixing that specific problem, they don't take the time to zoom out and understand if it's a part of a bigger issue, right?
That's, you hit on the nail at the end of the day, because let's say we learned in our training and all that is that if you're a good coach, you can coach anyone on anything. Yes, experience is absolutely, it's essential, and it definitely helps because you know what to do and not to do. Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to. If you're a good coach, you can help anyone with anything, because what 100%. It is that you're not imposing any of your own opinions and knowledge or bias. It's all about that, bringing that person to a place of recognizing on his or own that get their answers. And some people don't like to hear that, and they say, what do you mean? I want you to tell me. Tell me what to do. And I tell them, and I do this all the time when I have consultations with clients, I say, I will not give you advice.
Exactly.
Because the bottom line is, if I give you advice, it'll feel good for 5 minutes. Maybe for a week, it'll be amazing, have a plan, but it's not going to last. Maybe for a week, it'll be amazing, have a plan, but it's not going to last.
You're good. Is it unacceptable to ever give advice if a client is asking for it?
It's a loaded question, and I feel like it needs a whole episode in itself.
And it also depends. It also depends what is it that the client needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And once
Okay.
you're talking to them, once you get into to know them, you realize that either they don't need advice. It's not like advice; it's guidance more than advice.
Also, advice is loaded. Like define
Yeah,
advice. I just
exactly.
had this actually yesterday with a client. I'm sorry. Say it again. What was the question? What was
No,
it?
you said divine advice.
Right.
Fine
So
advice.
It was your question.
Oh, that's pretty
You're like, who said that question? Oh, it was me.
Yes, then define it. I
No,
like that.
because that's pretty much what I do with shameless plug your mindset in business.
Yes.
I'm pretty good. Anyway, thank you, Asha. But anyway, no, but yes, it doesn't.
Yeah, she is fantastic, by the way. Plug noises, plug emoji.
Now
Keep
you make
going.
me forget what I wanted to say.
So sorry,
Divine
sorry.
advice.
So I literally just had this recently that the advice it's given, it's almost like in the form of advice because let's say this person we're working toward an objective. Like that, the frame of that our session was a lot of it's like delving, a lot of it's deeper, and we wanted to leave with an action. Usually we leave with an action item, but it was very focused on getting to the action item. Okay, what I did was I took his reflections from the past few sessions and molded and formed it into. It sounded like advice, but it was just a repetition and a reframe of what he was saying and saying. And he was like, oh, yeah. And the fact is, he took it so well because it was like, good idea. But then it's your idea.
That's true. Like, that's artistry right there.
He's ready to do
literally,
it.
it's
Fantastic.
literally taking someone who has so many blankets in top of them and uncovering the blanket, like one blanket at a time. Layers. Because that's what it is. They have it all in themselves. They just need to know how to bring it out. And that's what we help them with, to bring out layer by layer. And sometimes it can take, a session, sometimes a few sessions. And that's the beauty of coaching, that we are taking you and guiding you where you are now. And instead of trying to put you in a different stage or trying to say, we just work with you where you
Not
are.
fighting
That's
nature. I mean, right, I said I was rambling this morning. I was telling them they never deal with my ramble all day. But anyway,
It's good ramble.
but now I forgot the ramble because I was rambling. That actually, this thought leads me to the fact is like a coaching go-to is you figure out what's their support, what do they have right now, right? Because they're saying most of my clients, their bottom line is that, and they're successful people. A lot of them are in between jobs. A lot of them are just taking a break. They want to figure whatever, X, Y, Z. They've been in it, they're doing it, or if they're new to it, they have that passion and that drive. Now, they're stuck. That's the bottom line. They're stuck.
We're all stuck.
Right. The bottom line is that they're stuck. And yes, we could talk about the reasons why they're stuck. We uncover that and we talk about it because we want to figure out a way around it, right? We're not looking to get rid of it or fix it. That's the difference. We're looking, okay, you can coexist with this. Okay, my point, 1 minute was really go on. 1 second. Okay, the point is that we could address their blocks, but 1 second, what do you already have? The point is
You were saying
let's
like
take a
what
minute.
you're working with what they already have versus trying to like.
Exactly. Trying to, like what Ruth said, trying to change your nature. Okay, so let me tell you what you could do, and it totally doesn't fit their core, their build, their.
Like,
let me try,
just be nicer or be more punctual. Like you're saying you're not telling people what to do. You're understanding their framework, and then you take that to build them up.
Correct, because you can think from your perspective that I think this person's problem is that she's never on time. Because you
can talk to me directly because that's definitely my struggle.
Yeah.
So, by the way, coach her now. Like, how would that work? As opposed to being like, oh, why don't you leave 10 minutes earlier? Why don't you? How would you tell her, like, this is your.
Tell everyone what we're doing here. But what we're dissecting here is this idea of advice, right? And we're saying that there's two components to understanding when to give advice or when not to give advice as a coach, because it's a gray area, I think, sometimes. Yeah. It's number one, understanding what your client needs and understand what you're trying to get to, right? Like, what is your client looking for, and also what are you working with? What's their framework, and what do they need in the moment? So I personally feel like sometimes clients do need advice, but it's how you package it, right? Don't tell them what to do. Give them the tools.
It shouldn't be from your own biased opinion. It should be from an understanding of what they're sharing with you that they already have. So that leads me back to what I was trying to explain.
Yeah, so
Thank
being
you.
punctual or not punctual.
Being
I
punctual,
am
not punctual.
very, very late all the time, and sometimes I'm good about it, and sometimes I'm not.
So now if I were coaching you, right? If
Yeah.
I would say, I have a great idea, Hannah, how you could be punctual. You can wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I could give you all the great
in my head,
things
I'd be
that I
like,
do.
wah, never happening ever. That's middle of the night for me.
Okay.
Or
Right?
you'd be like, okay, let me try it. And it'd be great for a week, but then you're not
It's not sustainable
it's not
because you're
lasting.
not telling me something. You're not giving me something that's within my framework.
Correct. And also, even more so, what I'm trying to say is when we're tapping into like what's supporting you, what do you have now? Yes, what's within yourself, but also what's the external things. stop for a minute, because people are so focused on their problems, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to take precedence in your mind, right?
That's priority.
Let's shift, exactly, because it's pressing and it's worrisome. It's
Right.
very valid, right? So it's like, okay, I'm a coach. I'm here to help you. Okay, you have this problem now. Let's shift focus. Let's move it away toward what do you have that is working for you right now? Can we use it? Can we use it as a stepping stone,
love
a
that.
tool, using your own tools, and then helping you get to where you want to go?
So it's not you're broken and it's because of your childhood. It's okay.
Loaded topic.
It's very loaded. It's very loaded. And I'm not
It's a danger zone, actually.
I'm not trying to discredit the need to go back to your childhood sometimes. What I'm trying to say is that it's not always necessary. It's not always what people are looking for. I have plenty of clients that have had things happen in their lives, but like, I don't want to open up the can of worms right now. Right now, I need to figure out how to function in my work, in my day to day, as a mom, as a husband, whatever it is. So
Not everyone has that luxury. When you have 5 kids and you're running a household and you have a job, you don't get to tap out of life for 3 months while you figure your history.
right,
You don't get to.
Maybe you need to sometimes, and that's something to explore.
No,
but you don't
have to
always
get
have
to a
that
healthy
luxury,
place
right?
in order to be able to do that. But if you're,
Right.
you can't just drop everything and fall apart.
I also find that I'll tell you what, I also find that when you're doing the work and then things come from the past, then you're able to handle it better. You're like, oh, it's not that bad.
It's actually a very good point.
It's not even if it's that bad or not. It's like, oh, it doesn't affect me as much. Because I know how to deal with it, and that's what we are. You know,
That's
like
actually
either
incredible to
either
think
we
about.
we can live with our misery and go back to our pain. And I'm not saying that's we all
We're
have
not discrediting it.
We're not discrediting exactly. It's not like we don't have that. We all have that, but it's knowing how to handle it and just being able to be like, you know what, it's okay. I'm okay. And it's fine, and that's what a coach does.
It's
That's our
beautiful.
tagline, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yes.
because
And we
because
all are.
because we are.
When we phrase this question, it's like, how do you know you need help? How do you know what kind of help? What's out there? There's also people that want or need coaching. It can come from a place of just wanting more and not knowing what it is. It's like that feeling you can't shake, that, I don't know, I'm not satisfied. And people phrase it as stuck, because they're like, there's nothing wrong per se. Obviously, life is challenges, X, Y, Z, but there's nothing definitively wrong to say, I need help. It's more like, I'm doing this, I want more. What is it? I'm curious. Yeah.
Just like going to, like someone going to the gym, like the coach that you said, you need a coach, a gym coach, right? I'm doing great. I'm going to the gym every day. I'm fit. I look good. But I want extra muscle. I want something, and I don't know how to get there. I'm going to get a coach for them to help me to do that. Help. I use that word help a lot, I realize.
So
But it's a good word, but it's just,
It's a good word, but like it's not specifically like help is yeah.
it's funny. It's just, I think it's a rite of passage as you become a coach and people don't know. And you say, oh, I'm a coach. Oh, help me and my problems,
Right?
and let me.
I
Or
know.
like, how do you hear about people's problems all day? And I'm like, let me shut that down right now. Like
Yeah.
when we finish coaching, I'm like,
I can just climb a
alive.
mountain. What's next? I
What's
love
next?
it.
And
Yeah.
like I end the session, I always do like a temperature, like a litmus test, whatever. Like I ask, so how do you feel? Now, how do you feel? Are you okay? It's more like, okay, so how are we feeling right now? Like, we're good?
I like the
And when-
difference. It's not how do you feel. It's
Exactly.
okay. So tachlis, what are we
I
doing
mean, you
here?
could match your energy. If someone comes in and doesn't want, like, rah, rah, cheerleader, there's also this knack of like, okay, so
Sure.
we're going to take it down a notch and be like, what's on your mind? Okay, let's get you to a place you want to go. But it's also like when the client at the end says, when he or she says, I feel so elevated. I feel so alive. I'm so excited. It's like, yay!
Or when like they're
There's
ready
nothing
to go
like
to
it.
the work. It's like the feeling.
It's delicious. Yummy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Hannah makes
And
fun.
I
It's
think
just
that's
yummy. Ugh.
that's it is yummy. Talking about who needs a coach, what coaches do, and what we're all about, and what the importance is of it. Walk me through a little bit of what the guild is, right? Because I've been hearing this name a lot. I'm obviously a part of it, but I think for the public, it's important to understand what the guild is and what we're really offering, right, to coaches, to the public. So walk me through that a little bit.
So the guild is a place where for coaches.
I love that
coaches-
you're like, I got this one.
Yeah, I'm like, Ruth is going to have to answer.
What is it that we're trying to do here? First of all, the first thing that we're trying to do is educate the public to let them know what coaches are and what type of coaches they can have, and also a place where you can where you don't have to, like when you go to a doctor, you need a knee doctor, then you have a place to find it. You need a
Referral.
referral, right? So this is like a referral for the public. For the coaches, is a place where they're going to get connection, where they're going to grow, and they're going to try to be the best they can be, so they can be the best for the client, for the person that they're coaching. Because if we have a coach that is falling apart, how is how is she or he going to be able to help someone? So this is the place where they don't just gain education, which we try, but they also get the comfort that, okay, I have someone to speak to if I need to, because just a hair community, exactly. And I know you, I know you guys don't like this, but every coach needs a coach.
Oh, we're gonna get to it. So, what you're saying is more than just people coming to us and saying, "Do you have a coach for me? I need a coach. I don't know what I need, but maybe you can help me out." And it's not just helping them out, figure out what coach they need, but it's giving them quality coaches, right?
Exactly.
Because the coaches that we have within our framework and in our Rolodex, if you know, anybody knows what that is, it's really old.
We've just
Right?
dated ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's they all have a certain common ground, or all have our, I'm going to say stamp of approval, but there's a lot behind that, right? And I want to understand that too. If a coach is a part of the guild, what's that standard? What's the guild standard of coaching? Can you explain that to me a little bit? Like, we walk through this, guys. We have this. The guild.
I'm going to say the part that calls to me the most about
Yeah.
our guild coaches, and that's the heart. And you're going to see it evident in every single one of our coaches. And it's just when you have proper heart and proper intention, it really, really gets you far. That's my favorite part of our guild coaches.
And I just want to add something to that. I believe that every coach that became a coach was because they had an experience that they went through, and another coach helped them, or they figure it out, and they're like, I don't want to be in that experience anymore, and I want to go and help, and I want to take someone else out of the experience that I experienced in order for them to experience that experience.
That's so beautiful.
That is.
I will say though that I don't feel like, for me personally, I had one experience. I feel like it was more about like it gives me life to help people. Like it makes me feel so good, and it's obviously it's a little bit of a selfish thing, but like I feel
I knew that was
amazing
coming.
when like somebody walks away and they feel good.
Giving is the most selfish thing that someone can do.
Yeah.
Because that what
Makes you
you
feel good.
gain is more than what you give.
I literally discussed this at my Tanya class
Exactly.
yesterday, and we're like, but if I feel good that I davened, is that coming from like the good part of me or like
I
the
think that's
egotistical part of me? I'm like, go with it, woman. If it's
Yeah.
even if it's your ego,
To be there, I think is
You're
a whole good
okay.
place. And I think that yeah, like I do agree with you that I think a lot of coaches, when you're coaching from a place of having experienced it, that comes through. People appreciate that. And I can definitely resonate with that, and I've definitely had experiences that I draw from. But I think that's also...
Is either you experience or you saw someone experiencing something, and then you saw what they gain after when they got the help.
We're jumping from clients to coaches, but it's both, right? So we're talking about what our clients would need from the guild, right? And who do we refer them to? And also our standards for coaches that come, right? So when it sounds like also just hearing you guys talk, that part of the standards that we have for coaches is that they love what they do. You hear stories all the time. I've heard so many people like, well, I'm just doing it to whatever, just get a paycheck, right? And
I graduated as an accountant because I was told to do it. No, I was told to do it. They told me, oh, this is a career good for you, so I did it.
wait, you were told to do something and you did it? That doesn't sound very much like
I know, right? I know, right?
Is she still an accountant
career
though?
thing, yes, you do a career. But I'm not an accountant. Look at me. It's so funny. I always go back
Can
to
I ask you
this
some
thing.
questions though? I mean, just on the side as an accountant.
No,
Our tax
I
returns are
am
good.
completely. No.
April
Okay.
15th is
She
coming up.
loves her coaching. She's embraced
I
that.
loved school. I loved school, and I was really good at it. But then, yeah, I didn't.
You weren't passionate about it.
It wasn't. It wasn't. When I started working at it, I was just like,
Accountants
literally.
watching this,
Yeah.
just
I'm sorry.
We still love you.
That's
do
what
great work.
I think you're.
I love
I
numbers.
think what
I
you
get
do
it.
is absolutely amazing. Not for me.
That's not something you can necessarily get from a series of questions. Like we meet with our coaches, we hang out with our coaches, we have workshops with our coaches, right? And we get a sense of if they love what they do, if they put their clients first, right? Like all of that becomes palpable. And that's, I think, part of what our standards are for referring a coach. Like we're not just going to refer anybody just because they're a coach or a mold coach or a coach, whatever
And
they
we
are.
want- and we want to be there for them. We want to make sure that they're okay, so they can do better. You know, they can serve better.
And that's actually, thank you for reminding me, because I think that was one of the biggest standards that we set for coaches is that they should always want to learn more.
Want to grow.
Because
Yes.
if you're
important.
if you come and you're like, I'm done, I took this course, I took that course, and I feel like you took every single course, but you
Still
come with
taking
this presence of I want to learn more, I want to grow more, right? And that I think is something that is so important. That's foundational to coaching, because I feel personally like it's going to sound so cheesy, but I really feel like it's true. I have learned so much from my clients. I have learned so many things about myself. I've learned so many things about perspective, about the world, about life. And I don't take that for granted. And I'm so thankful that I can continue with Hashem's help to do that. And I think that's part of the biggest standard that we have is they want to grow and learn more.
I was saying you said with Hashem's help, and I think you segued into the last thing that really makes our coaches exceptional.
Yeah.
Hashem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more of like our backbone of when we have to make a decision or if we're thinking about something, that's our pillar to stand on. It's just like, okay, that's the letting go situation, right?
Yeah. Letting go and letting God.
Letting go, letting
That's
God.
beautiful.
100%.
I like that
It's
that you brought it up.
beautiful,
Thank you.
And it's great, and it's but we deeply believe it and
Yeah.
live with it. Like, we've been behind the scenes. We've been in positions. We're like, okay, what are we doing? It's like, okay, Hashem's going to show us. I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
It's so
really
We
true.
did.
got this
So
because
true.
Hashem got us.
Yeah. I love
Boom.
that you said it though, because I feel like we all know this conceptually, but you need to say it, right? That's also
a
and that's
spiritual
coaching.
bypassing that we had a workshop that. Am I allowed to name drop?
We
You'll
had a
cut it out.
workshop.
Coach Menachem Bernfeld, and you'll cut it out if no.
Go for it.
Yeah.
The workshop we spoke about this whole like spiritual bypass thing.
But one
and-
second.
Yeah.
So I understand. Like, so we all understand. You had a workshop, meaning what?
Great, they're gonna make me explain it. So one of the pillars of the guild is growth and development, which we do all that wonderful stuff to make.
So this is for coaches.
Yes, for coaches, not for the public, but our coaches
Yeah.
get the workshops to really grow and develop because, as we said, they love to learn and they love to grow, and we're providing them with that, which is really, really amazing. And we
Essentially, it leads to affecting and helping the public because
those
they
tools.
end up they take those tools and they help other people. So it's just
So it's a ripple effect.
Yes.
And you have many more things like practicums and everything else, but please tell us a little bit more
Yeah,
about that.
So, but I want to circle back because
Yeah.
I was cut you off in
Yeah,
the middle of the story. We
You're
were
about to
we were
say
having a
something about the
workshop.
workshop?
Coach
You're gonna have to
Menachem.
remind me because I don't know.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Oh, the spiritual
Yes,
bypass thing, because
yes.
we're talking about our not pillars, but it's more of like what it qualifies. I hate the word qualify. Let's for a better word, like what are guild coaches like? What are we standing on that we represent? Right, it's what you said before about learning, growing, and also what we're standing on is essentially, and it's more than just saying a point where it was stressful, we weren't sure, or like had to make a decision, and we leaned on that. Okay, Hashem is going to show us the way, and time and time again, it did prove itself. Yeah, we're so lucky that we get to say it verbatim, and it's just like a tip of our tongue, and it's part of our language. But like even more so, we're in a position. Thank you, Hashem, and we're so lucky that we're in a position that we can get to test it in time and see just how strong our emunah is and how much we're depending on Hashem.
I just want to go back for a second to spiritual bypass because that's the term that I learned in this workshop that we just did, and I thought it was fantastic. Where I knew the concept, right, without knowing the name of it, but this idea of just okay, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, but like no, instead taking the time. You wake up in the morning, you give yourself a second, and you say thank you, and you give yourself that space. And I think that's also something that. It sounds fluffy, right? When you talk about coaching, like give yourself this a safe space and all that. And I happen to not be that style, into that style of coaching. Not that it's bad, but I'm just saying,
There's
like
a lot of cliche that
there's
goes
difference,
around.
right? But there's a lot of cliche of like space and time, but when I took the time and I took the space and I didn't have spiritual bypass, it was incredible. It was
It's
amazing.
life changing.
Yeah, and that's what coaching is. It's just giving yourself that time, that space.
Yeah.
And not just speeding through things.
You brought in spiritual bypass, when we take a little detour, it's the fluff, the cliche that goes around and all these terms. Really, it's in terms of marketing, because how do you explain this? That's why we have this podcast. How do you explain it in like a blurb? There has to be a lot of cliche, but it's is true and we understand it as true.
We say
But-
it for a reason.
Safe space.
Yeah.
Safe space.
It's such a true thing. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I love safe space. It's a safe space.
I just don't. It is. I like the concept. I don't like the work because I feel like it's so overused that it lost its power in a sense.
Right. It's
But that's where coaching comes in. Define
yeah,
it. What does safe space
exactly.
mean for you?
Right. It's time to contemplate. It's time to
No,
stop.
it's just for me. Safe place is like safe space. Safe space is
Call it
coming
safe
to a
place, and that's it. There you go.
There
Solve
we
the
go.
problem.
Safe space.
That's it, solved. But having a place where I'm free to express myself, being myself, and not having to worry. I'm like, she gonna judge me? Am I gonna be judged? Am I gonna be too?
Yeah.
That?
So it's an authentic place.
So it's an authentic place.
But how do you take people from the words of saying it's a safe space to really being like, oh, it really is a safe space? Like, in other words, I feel like, or like, it's a safe space. How do you get them to really feel that and really know that?
When you start doing the work with them, and they start feeling it and living it.
But I'm just in general, like,
How do you give that over?
Yes.
So here's my take on this. I think I forgot who said this, but I think it's so true. People don't remember what you said; they remember how you made them feel. And I think if you make them feel safe and you make them feel comfortable, you can do it in one sentence. Right away, it clicks.
And I'll tell you, and also that's also the guilt. What's so beautiful about it is because you can meet this coach and not be your type and not click with them and not have that connection. Then you have to go and look for another one and many people get discouraged. I'm like, I don't like a coach. I don't want a coach.
Yeah.
It's a
I
shitta.
can, you know. So it's like so then the beauty of the guilt is that like you soon enough will be able to call. You'll have an interview and they gonna guide. I mean, the guild is gonna. And you don't have to be like going around. We will try, and that's with Hashem's help, and that's what we're trying to do here. Is we will try to match you up with the perfect one according to your energy, according to what you need, and according to the
And the
like that. You
category.
don't have to be shopping around. You know.
We got you.
You stole it from
know,
me.
I
No,
don't-
She was
cut
gonna
her
say
out.
it's iconic.
Got you.
It's okay. I love this. I'm just
This
enjoying
is
it.
what a good coach sounds like. It's okay. See, right there, I felt safe.
There we go. You can continue. And I'm actually enjoying it. We were just talking about a few minutes ago about how we don't like shopping. So for shopping, we need a
Personal shopper.
shop. I don't like shopping, and I would love to have a personal shopper that is going to pick my clothing. I'm making an analogy.
You're saying that it's a
Analogy.
curated experience. Is what you're
Exactly.
saying.
Like, for
It's-
example, the personal shopper, she's not going to go to the store without talking to me. And because she doesn't know me. And so she's going to come and talk to me and tell me, okay, what's your style? What do you like? She's going to go through my closet to try to figure out what is it that I like. And then she's going to go and shop for me, right?
You know, so what do you need? Do you have a wedding? Do you have to go to work?
Exactly.
So that's great.
So then,
Ooh, that's
so
great
then
analogy
right
to the
here,
categories.
right here on the guild, they're gonna come and they're gonna be like, I need
www.coachesguild.com.
exactly. They're gonna come and they're going to tell us. They're
So
gonna
the
tell us.
that's the thing, the categories, because
Yeah.
you're touching upon it. That's also a thing. It's also the style of, yeah, at the end of the day, it's not that everyone has to click exactly. It's more like, what do I want to work on right now? What do I need? Is business, there's relationship.
Do you want someone that talks like this is a safe place and I got you, right? And then
Hold on.
somebody that's more pragmatic and like, listen, okay, you're not doing that fantastic right now. Like sometimes you need tough love, sometimes you need soft love.
Yeah.
And
It's a
that's what.
preference.
And by
yeah.
the way, some of us are able to do both.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Most of
Because
us can. Most of us can.
Yeah.
But it's also,
Yeah. But you're a business coach.
Right.
You need to be.
No, but I think
No,
you actually
she's
have a very
actually
good range.
very soft.
You'd be
She's
surprised.
great.
Yeah, she's
you know why?
amazing.
Because I, let's say, do mindset specifically. But then there's people who need this, people on our group that's, let's say, a different kind of business, let's say, right? Mindset is more like fundamental and more your core and knowing yourself. And yes, we do objective. And a lot of it's more like, okay, take a minute. Then versus there's also, the trick is that it's not even, okay, I'm not going to go into that. 1 second, why, what? Okay, I'm not going to go into that. What was that look?
What was the look?
I don't know.
Want
You're
to say
looking at me.
something?
I don't know.
No, I don't know. I'm just.
I'm so confused.
Ruth was trying to be respectful and look around and be like,
I
"What's
know.
up?" And you were like, what's going on? Police, police. The
Like,
biggest point. What
yeah.
were you saying?
The point is, remind me what we were talking about.
Land the plane, Perry. Oh. So we're jumping back and forth a lot between our coaches, between our clients. And I'm curious what you guys think about the concept of if every...
I'm so sorry.
Well.
Could you do it again? Because I was like this.
Yeah,
I'm so
sure.
sorry.
It's fine. Thank you, because I want to do a different question first. A factoid that I came across: the number of professional coaches worldwide has more than doubled since 2019. why do you think coaching has become more popular? Yes, there's still a stigma around it.
That does
Why
scare
do you
me,
think
though.
Okay.
It does scare me because
I think that's why
know,
the
I'm
guild
sorry.
was created.
Yeah.
I think that guild, that's what it was, because anybody can become a coach. Now, can we have quality coaches? And this is the purpose of the guild, to make sure that the coach gets guided and learns more.
My point is that there's still a large stigma around coaching, but the amount of coaches that are out there has doubled. So do you think that, or why do you think coaching has become more popular recently? That shows the need, right? Meaning when something becomes very popular, it also, yes, sometimes it's just like, oh, it's a fad, but it also shows the need for it, right? And I think that people recognize that there's a need for coaching because, like we said, coming full circle, it's not always that you want to kind of like have a breakdown of your past and like the heavier moments of your life. Sometimes you just want to coach and you want to move forward and you want to kind of like lighten your load a bit. And I think people are starting to recognize that that's an option out there. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Just like if you're saying it doubled, I think there is some sort of money marketing triangle going on.
Oh, like a Ponzi
And
scheme, sure.
Yeah, and that definitely is avoided at the guild. Like,
Yeah.
it's not something that is encouraged. It's just the people with the right intentions that you're seeing in the guild, and it's not the people who
Quality
are like, oh,
coaches.
this is a quick way, an easy way to make money.
Exactly.
That's not what you're seeing over here.
Most people here didn't start this to make money. They
Yeah.
were just
And I
fascinated
did it
by
at
the
a loss
concept.
of anything.
Yeah, and that comes back
Yeah.
to our standards,
100%.
our gold guild standards. Say that 10 times.
And I'm not sure if we're ready for this yet, but it's also knowing a standard coming from my own thing is knowing your place, like knowing when you're going into the psychology thing and this is the tricky, the therapy thing, that it's very tricky. Like
Know your lane.
Stay in your lane.
No,
Everyone
it's
has their own,
super important.
super important. So it's also helping coaches understand, like, yeah, because like you said at the beginning, that there are some coaches who have the therapist background and training and vice versa.
Everything that we mentioned here today, I think, really gives people just a taste of what we're offering, what we're about, and what we're trying to bring to light. I think that's incredible. And I want to end off with a personal question.
Personal to
but
who?
Personal to all you
To
guys
me?
sitting here. And I want to ask you guys, I get stretched out for this question. What is something that personally affirmed for you that you're in the right line of work, that you're doing the right thing? Like, did you have an experience? Did something happen that made you say, I'm doing the right thing? I'm doing good things.
Gives me energy, the passion. I wake up knowing that I'm going to have a client calling me. It's just
I see you dancing already. Like,
exactly,
you're like dancing.
Is the energy. I've done many works. You tell me a job, I'm being like, it's like the word over hats, like the person over here. What's it called? That
Wearing
expression?
many hats.
I wear many hats. And if you tell me a job, I probably did that. Like, I'm telling you. And
Construction worker?
nothing-
No, I'm just joking.
I'm not gonna say what's
I
going
actually
on.
did it in my house, okay? And every time I've tried something, it was always guiding me to this place. Even like when I mentioned about school, when I was in school, I actually took, for credits, I took psychology class, and I thought it was fascinating. And I was telling them how, and I actually went to the counselor, whatever the school counselor, tell her that I think I want to become a psychologist. I find it fascinating. I find it, all of these. And she told me, no, you're almost done with accounting. You have to continue there. If they would have just tell me to it, I probably would have go for psychology, but I ended up being a coach. Okay,
Wow.
Then in my other,
Thank God.
and also
We're so happy to have you.
I know, but in
Yes.
every, thank you. No, but I always found myself coaching someone, always, and
So it's like your natural state.
So
essentially.
it's
That's what
it's
reaffirmed
just-
it for
yeah,
you.
Yeah, so
Like
it's-
you're always a coach.
yeah, I was. No, it happens. When did I became the coach? Was during COVID. I was a professional organizer, and when I used to organize for my clients.
See, I didn't even know that. Professional organizer. Okay, I'm gonna call you later.
When I was a professional organizer, you cannot go to houses anymore. But while I had my clients, I used to talk to them, and I saw that it was deeper than just organize their house. And we used to talk, and I used to tell them different things, and I found myself coaching them, but I never called myself a coach, and I never did the work.
Wow.
And I did took tons of courses for myself, and because I wanted to grow. It was never about coaching. And then when COVID came, nobody can go to houses anymore to organize. So then
You have to organize their minds.
I had to organize their minds instead.
That's
and
what
I
it
was
is, though.
doing
It's
that.
housekeeping for your brain.
Yeah,
It's
I was
Ooh,
literally doing
that's
that,
a
and
really
I was
good tagline.
organizing. I was doing Zoom phone calls and doing it all, and then realizing that I'm coaching, but I didn't want to call myself a coach until I actually have a certificate. Like I have to learn more. Like I have to know how to learn how to become a coach. So that was my journey.
I love that. Perry, what about you? What makes you excited to coach every time you're with a client?
It's gonna be a cliche answer, but it's true. Like I wish I could.
There's a
have it-
reason why cliches are true.
Right, exactly. It's that feeling when you finish and you hang up, and I stand up after. I'm like, oh, it's just when I like burst out of my tiny little office. It's such a good feeling.
We're all getting the
Because they come there and it's like, oh my God, literally you have people crying, and it's not like, no, I'm not listening to their problems. And the great thing is at the end they're like, okay, I'm excited. And it's
But
like,
can
okay.
I say, like the way you're talking about it, right? Meaning you could be saying something that sounds generic in concept, but you give it life. The way you just spoke about it,
Because
you sold
it's
me.
the truth.
You sold
though.
me.
Right, it's the truth. I sold you.
You sold me on the truth.
Okay, I'll send you a
You're
contract.
Simon.
Ask you a different question also?
Yes. Do I
Okay.
get a different response? A different question?
Yeah, it's the same question packaged in a different packaging.
Okay. Let's do the
So
new
sharp.
packaging.
So sharp. What pulls you to coaching?
So what pulls me to coaching is every time someone would tell me they're a coach, I felt like sparked, like that's something I want to do. And as I got certification and worked, and I'm working on being a good coach, I noticed that's giving me permission to be the person I always wanted to be. So I get to show up.
It's giving you
authentically.
permission
Yeah,
to
I'm
be
saying it
who
for
you.
you.
I had a different answer, but you pulled something. You pulled a thought that I was literally just thinking about this morning as I took out the garbage because I do that. Different topic. Different topic. Anyways, okay, we can cut that. I was thinking about this idea that. This sounds cliche too, but I really do feel it. That the person that has benefited most from my coaching is me. Like I have
100%.
changed so much about how I operate, how I think, how I do things because of my coaching.
And
that what pulls me to it.
Right. And I just want to add something because people think that in order to be a coach, you have to have a perfect life. No, you don't. None of us have a perfect life.
Yeah.
But you know what happens? Every time I coach, I find myself coaching myself.
Yes.
It's always like that, and I'm like, ooh, I have to practice what I preach. So
Yeah.
when that happens, then my life gets better. The people's lives get better, and we all have a better life.
Keeping it real,
Yes.
we also don't have all our together. I'm
Right.
saying,
Or
people go,
what?
Oh,
But I was gonna say
I'm
that
not
you got cut off. You got cut off. What was that? All your together?
Stop.
All our schnitzels.
Shut up. But no, but
This is
that-
G-rated
no,
coaching.
But it's the truth because it's so like every coach is a coach. 100% to get better and better. And second of all, you do end up responding very differently to your life. You can still lose your
Yeah.
schmigagi.
And even the Torah says, if we help someone, then we're gonna gain. We're gonna help ourselves also.
It's
So,
true.
and the best way to learn is by teaching, by helping, by telling someone. Okay, that's the best way to learn.
Never
Being
thought of it
out
like
there
that.
experiences.
It's a great way of
yeah.
putting it. Thanks for joining us. Namaste.
No.